The jokes sort of write themselves for this one. Things like hurry up, end of the film. For once, I couldn't wait until the weekend was over. It's Abel Tesfaye, aka The Weeknd, in his feature film debut, and it is a stinker. Hurry up, tomorrow. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new film Hurry Up Tomorrow. This is a companion piece, really, to the latest Weeknd album of the same name. And maybe you've heard a couple of the hits on the radio. You'll hear more music in this movie. But this really ends up being sort of an extended music video. It's certainly not a coherent plotted movie, I can tell you that. But we'll get to all this here in just a moment. First, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a subscriber for Dan Reviews It already, thank you so much for that. I love it when you guys return and check out my stuff. But if you're not, please consider subscribing and click that notification bell, or just like this video, comment below. All that stuff helps the channel out tremendously. Now, The Weeknd, or I will refer to him as Tesfaye, because he's in the credits here as Abel Tesfaye. That is his real name, and he was credited as such in the HBO series The Idol as well. Terrible show. I gave it an F. And this is really his feature film debut as an actor. He was playing himself in Uncut Gems. He had a small role, small scene there. But he's also playing himself here, just a different version, a hyper-realized version, whatever you want to say. But he is playing Abel Tesfaye, a.k.a. pop star The Weeknd, in this movie. So, you know, while we're saying it's his feature film debut, again, he's not playing anybody but himself, just in a sort of hyper-realized version. This is a psychological thriller, and he co-wrote the screenplay along with Trey Edward Schultz, who directs the film, and Reza Fahim. And it stars him and Jenna Ortega. She plays a fan that ends up spending the night with The Weeknd after a disastrous show. And this all stems a little bit from something that really did happen, I guess, to The Weeknd a few years ago. He was having some vocal issues and had to stop one of his shows short. And so he thought, hey, this might be a great idea for a film. And maybe it is, with a better script and some better acting and some better everything else. But as it is here, it's none of those things. Let's talk first about the acting, shall we? Tesfaye cannot act. He's very, very bad, even playing himself in this movie. And he was bad in The Idol, too. The Idol had a lot of other problems. Like I said, I gave the whole thing an F, so it wasn't just his acting there, but that was also bad, and he was bad in it. There are a lot of singers that have turned into great actors and actresses, especially in the right project. I think that is one of the keys here. Like Madonna, yeah, she could be hit or miss, but in the right project, she's great. And the same could be said maybe for Justin Timberlake and some of the others. But Tesfaye is just not good. He is, not only is he not good, but Barry Keoghan, who is sort of the third star of the movie here, this movie is written so poorly that it actually makes a bad actor out of Barry Keoghan. If this is the first thing I had ever seen him in, and he's been in a lot of really great stuff, Banshees of Inisherin and Saltburn, to name a couple of recent ones. But he is terrible here, which is a shock. I've never seen him in anything where he doesn't give a good performance, but even he can't muster the talent for a script this bad. So is Tesfaye a bad actor, or could he be in the right project, malleable a little bit? I think maybe. He's done a couple of sketches on SNL when he was I don't think he ever hosted, but he was the musical guest a few different times, and he did, a couple of skits here and there, and, it was fine. But this is such a bizarre movie that I don't even think he co-wrote it, by the way. We'll mention that again. I don't even think he knows what the movie's about or what the character is about, or any of this. Jenna Ortega filmed this years ago. This is actually sat on the shelf for well over a year. I don't know if it was supposed to come out before the album hit stores in January of this year or not, but it sat on the shelf for a long time, and she actually filmed this before she filmed the Beetlejuice sequel, and before she filmed some of the other recent things, Death of a Unicorn, the A24 movie. She filmed this before that. So this really, it sat on the shelf for a little while, partially because it didn't have a distributor. I think people saw this movie and were like, we don't want to put this out. This is garbage. And sure enough, yeah, it is. It is truly bizarre that this is just really an extended music video, a feature-length film music video. The music is good. And, I can't say too many bad things about the music, and I like a lot of the Weeknd's stuff on his records. I do. But this is not an album review. This is a review for the movie. And look, I think he is one of a small handful of very talented musicians that want to emulate Michael Jackson. Bruno Mars is certainly in that camp, and I think Justin Timberlake, to bring him up again, is partially in that camp as well. And look, Michael Jackson was known for his very lengthy music videos. The original Thriller video was almost a half hour. The original Bad video was, I think, 17 or 18 minutes. So I get it. He wants to give us this full experience. Maybe the album is a concept album. Again, I haven't heard the whole thing. I don't know. But maybe it falls in line with a concept. And so he thought, oh, hey, maybe we could kind of string these songs together and make, a narrative to go with it. But the narrative just isn't there. It's very, very loosely connected to any of the music, really, in terms of its themes and stuff. But less so than that, it's just confusing. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because a lot of it is part of the plot is he has insomnia. It's part of why he's having some vocal problems as well, and maybe the two are going hand in hand or whatever. But his insomnia is creating these, other worldly things a little bit that, maybe he's imagining them, maybe he is experiencing them, but just a different way or whatever. But it's never quite clear because this movie has no clear direction. This, to me, just seems like a vanity project that nobody along the way had the guts to say no to Tesfaye. And look, he's a very, obviously, again, talented guy. His songs are really good. And his last album was a concept album, the Dawn FM. That was a concept album for sure. And maybe you could have done a movie with that would have made more coherent sense. I don't know. But for sure, this is one of the worst movies of the year. It's an easy F for Hurry Up Tomorrow. It's playing in theaters for now, but I probably would guess not for long with its tepid response. It only opened to about $5 million compared to Final Destination's opening of $51 million. So obviously, they were expecting bigger things from this. And after the horrible critical reviews came in, I can see why it underperformed. And here's another critic that says it stinks. So I leave it with that F, and thank you for watching Dan Reviews It. I will see you next time.